Good morning. I'm here with
Hello.
the lovely Garuth Chalfont,
Oh,
and
bless you.
who is our dementia ambassador. Lisa, switch your brain on. Uh, sorry, pardon the pun.
Yeah, pardon the pun, right?
The pun. Lovely to see you as always,
Oh,
Garth.
bless you. Always a pleasure to see
Um,
you and catch up, Lisa.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And we want to catch up with our audience as well because,
Yep.
as always, we're all running at a million miles an hour and have so many plates spinning, don't we? I think it'd just be really lovely to do this update with you today and find out
Oh,
what you've been up to because I know you've been up to a lot.
no, I have been busy, yeah.
Things have been exciting, haven't they? And recently, I think a few months ago, we did have a newsletter which focused on the book that you published.
Hmm.
Tell us about it.
Fabulous. Fabulous, yes. Um, yeah, I got occasionally I'll get like an email from someone that says, I saw you in York and I bought the book and I've just gotten to a page and I'm questioning you about this and that. And it's like, very cool. People are actually opening it and looking at it. And
Really cool.
yeah, so I've just finished up, as you probably know, a road show, which I started at the end of last year, November-ish. And I did 5 talks altogether around sort of our patch. In
We're
Gar,
in the Northwest, aren't
yeah,
we?
that's right. Garstang and over towards Blackburn and then up towards Burnley, and in that general vicinity. And basically, the crowds that I had it was so heartwarming because um, they're either pretty much into the health, area, or they're really, really like sponges. They're so interested and they really want to soak all this up. And nowadays, all you have to do is mention dementia, and everybody has a story. Everyone's got a relative, everyone's got someone that they know who's died of it or whatever. So it's really pertinent to
Hot
get
topic.
these basic, all the basic stuff about what to do. And I wrote the book in 3 parts, and the first part is all the things that we basically should know, about the diet and the exercise and sleep and all that sort of thing. And then, the second part goes into things that we should have known and we should have been taught, but schools aren't doing this. And I think this should be a curriculum and it should be
I
in
agree with
primary
you.
school, basically, in the second part. The second part is all about the importance of light and um, uh, and how water holds frequency and water listens to us and water responds. So all the things that we're learning now about the qualities of water, it's amazing stuff like Veda Austin and people like that, Emoto, Masaru Emoto. So there's things about water that we should have been taught this as kids because
Absolutely.
we would have behaved totally differently in our lives. But better late than never, so we're learning now. So the second part is about a lot of things that were kept from us, or we just, school wasn't interested in teaching it, universities aren't interested in teaching it, but now we're really understanding what's going on. So that's the second part. The third part, unusually, like people who go into research in dementia, unusually, I have focused on the spirit, the heart, um, trauma, grief, sorrow, and what we can do about it, and how it affects us, and the role of dementia in all of this, in the emotional side, and how we can reverse that, how we can turn that around, and how we can actually heal ourselves through that. So the third part is spiritual. And if any of you are familiar with the work of Rudolf Steiner, or Steiner, you know that he talked for a lot of his writings are about spiritual science. Okay? The two things should never be disconnected. And what we've done since the fall, and now we've crawled back up, we've disconnected those. So science is all third dimension. Can you measure it? Can you,
Yeah.
sense it? Right? But there's a lot more that's going on in life. And now we understand with frequency and consciousness how important that is. And I met with two dear friends of mine both of them on a slight decline, one of them on more of a decline than another. And I go and meet them, and we go out for lunch once a week, and absolutely lovely people. And they will not necessarily remember what I say, but we have a brain that's a cognitive bit of the body, but we've got a heart and we've got a brain in our heart, you know. And I was telling the son later, I said, I'll say things that I know they probably won't remember the next time, but the heart remembers. Okay. And this is something to keep in mind whenever you're talking to people, especially if you're talking to someone with dementia and you think they're not hearing you or they're not really there or whatever. Mine, the research that I'm digging into now, Lisa, I'm going to tell you, it's going to blow dementia out of the water because there's so
Wonderful.
much that science is now exploring in terms of consciousness and dementia. And when people decline with dementia, we are looking at the third dimension. We are looking at the brain. We take pictures of the brain and we go, oh, there's parts missing and they can't do this and they can't do
Yeah.
that. But what is expanding, right? So energy is neither created nor destroyed. It changes form. So as the mental, cognitive is declining, what's actually increasing is the spiritual aspects, the spiritual abilities of people. And I've been listening to
Mhm.
the telepathy tapes. I would encourage people to go and look up the telepathy tapes. And
Yeah.
it's K.Y. Dickens who does these. And she's done some amazing work with
Wow.
people who are non-speakers. So she started out working with kids, right, who aren't able to speak. They might have some sort of a diagnosis, as the medical establishment would call it, but they are communicating on a level of consciousness. And when telepathic speakers tap into that, they connect, tons of communication is going on. Well, she's been able to apply this to people with dementia who are so far down the dementia pathway cognitively, right, that they can no longer speak. I'm not going to I'm not going to blow the ending for you. You have to go and listen to these tapes. It's absolutely amazing. She's done a couple on
Absolutely.
cognition, and so where we are with the whole dementia story is really we're at the beginning of it because we've been listening to science, we've been going down the drug route, which is a whole agenda in itself, but we're missing the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is consciousness and how everything in life that is living connects and is connected through consciousness. Plants, animals, people, um, minerals,
So exciting,
you
Garth.
know, the
So
planet,
exciting.
everything. It's alive. And even when you look at stars, those aren't balls of fire.
Yeah.
Those are spiritual beings, right? I mean, some of this might go, oh, he's lost it. He's like, it's got a screw loose or something. But you just wait. You just wait until all this starts to come out. It's going to be amazing, Lisa. I'm really pleased that I've got to where I am in my understanding so that I now have a chunk of time left that I can dig deep into this. So, yeah, get the
Amazing,
book,
Garth.
read the book, and then wait for the next part. Part four is upcoming when I do this next piece
This
of
is going to
research.
be phenomenal. And I'd just like to say that you are also an incredible illustrator.
Oh, bless you. Thank you so much.
I was privileged to get the pre-published version of the book, wasn't I?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Well, I've got three books because I've got the three
I
sections, and they're
separate
all
them into,
so
yeah, yeah.
beautifully illustrated by God. I mean, fantastic.
Thank you.
Um, but this is just amazing. The conversation we've just had is just listening to you is so inspiring. And you know that I personally lost my mother to Alzheimer's,
Yeah,
and she was nonverbal
yeah,
for the last few years of her life. And to
yeah,
have known and
yeah,
been able to dig
yeah.
into more
Communicate.
of this,
Yeah,
would
exactly.
have
Yeah,
been
yeah. Such a blessing.
just, oh, honestly. So, yeah, it's something like you said earlier on, everybody's got a story, everybody's got a connection to dementia, and, everybody wants answers and ways of keeping that connection. So, and
Yeah,
prevention. So,
Yeah.
This is amazing. Tell us about the
Wow.
road show.
Well, the road show was great. I was, like I said, five or six different places. Um, and what
And
I
you've got
did
a
was in the presentation.
testimonials.
Sorry.
The testimony you've got
Oh, I've
testimonials.
got.
There's a blog on your
Yeah, I don't
website.
usually do this, but I thought,
You need
it
to.
would be nice to see how people responded and all that. So I did actually ask people, to write down a few words, and I got so many beautiful quotes
Mhm.
and things that they put on Telegram and things that, came across on emails and stuff like that. And so I put a lot of those. And if you go now to dementiapioneers.uk and look at the latest blog, which says probably something like more praise or more thanks or uh, something along those lines, then
Yeah.
you'll see all of so you'll get an idea of how this work affected people and how they responded to this work
Yeah.
and what their thoughts were in terms of finding out information that they didn't know before or that they maybe knew for a while and then forgot about, and the multiple ways that people can actually help each other. So I was really pleased to do that, and I made a lot of friends on the road tour, on the road show too.
You did.
Yeah, places that I went to that I'm starting to go back to. I mean, it's good because it's about community, isn't it? It's about developing
It's
these
all about
connections
community.
all around the area.
Yeah.
And some of the people who came said, "Oh, I saw you when you were at York. I saw you when you were at such and such. And when I heard you were coming here, I came again." So this,
Connecting people.
people are really thirsty
Yeah.
for this information.
Yeah.
And the way I did the book and the way I did the talks is exactly follow the talks follow along through the book, but there's
Yeah.
feedback and there's chit chat all the way through. So you've been
Absolutely.
sitting there for 2 hours and you've been laughing and you've been, you know,
You've been
emotional
connecting
and
with people.
a
Yeah.
full range of emotions,
Yeah.
and that's why I think people get a lot out of it because I'm not lecturing. I don't stand up there at a podium and say this is what you should do. Not at all. I'm usually like jumping around. I can't keep still and I can't shut up. Which, for a person who's generally shy, you put me in front of an audience
It's your
and
passion. It's your
boom,
passion.
it is.
Yeah.
It is. And I get choked up, when I'm talking about this stuff because it's so meaningful and it's so relevant. And yeah, so I just like well up in my heart. That's why I do it. I'm just so drawn to do it. And if I've got some insight and I feel like it can help someone, then, you know, do it. And this is why I self-published the book. I don't want a penny out of it. I want as many people to get it as possible. I refuse to publish online. I've refused to get somebody like the Amazon creature,
Yeah.
to publish the book because they'll slap 20% markup on top of the book, right? And it'll look like their book. And this book looks like no other book you've ever come across. It's wire bound.
Absolutely.
It's color on just about
It's beautiful.
99% of the pages. And it lays open and it's small. It's like A5, slips in your pocket. You can take it anywhere. I
Yeah.
go into my friend's house and they've got the book open. It's like you need it to be there and you need it to be on the table and you need it to be open if you're going to engage somebody, with any sort of
Absolutely.
cognitive impairment. You can't have a flat book that goes on the shelf that never gets read, that someone bought and got signed at the event and then, never reads it. So it's a tool. It's not actually a book.
It
It,
is, isn't it?
it's a
It is.
storybook.
And it's your journey as well.
Yeah,
God.
exactly. I mean, part three is all about my journey because I
Yeah.
had to dig deep into my own traumas and my own history and my, the
Absolutely.
family and all of this and how I went through all that and what I did. I mean, you can read between the lines and you can see what I did. But what I'm doing is I'm bringing tools to the public so that they can go through those journeys and they can have a look at. I mean, there's one thing specific. I'm sorry I'm taking too much of your time, Lisa. Let me
You're
just.
definitely never guilty
Oh,
of that, God.
bless you. Okay, thank you. There's this one thing that I do talk about, and that is if you have a traumatic event, like you have a car crash or whatever, right? You've got the event, but you also have the emotion that was tied to that event. And that emotion and the event are welded together right? In that moment, it's your job to disconnect those. If you drive down that road and you have this, oh my God, oh no, this is where I had, oh fuck, this is where the car went off the road. This is where I was in hospital. Oh no, no, no. And if you're still doing that, this is still welded together. And that is what's creating your impairment to some degree. Okay? I'm not saying that's all the reasons. That's one of
Yeah.
the reasons. And you can disassociate. You can take those apart so that you drive down that road and you go, oh, you know what? I flipped the car over 3 times in that field. Yeah, a few years back. Yeah, I did. Yeah, honestly. Oh,
Yeah,
God.
those go. I've never told you these stories, but I've had quite a few car incidents.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
And that's it. But that's exactly it. I drive along and I say, oh, that's where such thing happened. And wasn't I lucky? And,
Yeah.
it's how you
And you
deal
don't
with
go
it
into the
again.
emotion that you had on that day, do you?
No.
You separated it, you see? And that is absolutely crucial. And there's a lot of things that we can do that are not like big, expensive, things that you have to, I mean, tapping, you
Yeah.
know, and what is it, EMDR? I mean, there's a couple of basic things. And
Yeah.
some of our PHA ambassadors know all about this,
Exactly.
and they can lead you down this. And it's just very simple stuff because you have to separate out the event from the emotion. And if you don't, and if you do go into some sort of decline in later life, it's too late then because your fear will increase. And so you'll start, oh my God, that person, did such and such to me when you don't even know that person. Because there was this event. I used to go to this care home quite a bit and visit
Mhm.
people in there. And there were these two ladies, and the staff always had to put these two ladies at two separate tables because one of them claimed that the other one stole her cow. She
Now,
stole my cow. Don't even know each other. She stole my cow, you see? So back in the day, when that event happened in her life, she didn't resolve it. She didn't separate it out, the event from the emotion. She left it welded together. And then later on, when, the layers of the onion start peeling
yeah.
off, it's
Yeah.
still there and it becomes even worse to the point where she's reflecting that fear and that anger about that lady that stole her cow on a total stranger.
Yeah. We've all got work to do, haven't we? But it's knowing this. It's understanding that, and
Yeah.
that's what you're delivering to us.
I
So
hope
it's
so.
amazing.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
hope so. I think that's the mission, and it's taken me. I just turned 70, and I mean, I think it's taken me this long to really get up on my feet and know why I've had this
Yeah.
whole life that I've had, and why it's
Absolutely.
been such a humongous challenge, and what I'm to do with that, and how I'm going to turn that around, and what I'm going to do, for the rest of my days, to make right as much as I can. So I'm absolutely driven to
Yeah,
serve.
I can
That's
tell.
that's why I'm here.
And I'm very lucky because I have you just on my doorstep,
Oh, bless
and
you.
we're friends, and we're,
Absolutely, yeah.
I feel very, very privileged to have
Oh,
that. So
thank you, Lisa. That
I know
touches
you're
me.
on a mission. Well, you've got all our support on that mission.
Awesome.
PHA is always behind you, as you know, and vice versa. I would imagine that people have lots of questions after watching this. We will be sharing more information in an upcoming newsletter.
Okay.
And then on the 23rd of April, we've got our fourth birthday. Can you believe it already?
Wow.
And so we will be doing a public update on that day. And
Okay.
Hopefully you'll be along, won't you?
Yep.
And
Got it in my
you
diary.
know, if anyone does have any questions or would like to speak to Gar, then just connect with us through the links below that we'll put under this recording.
Okay.
And yeah, exciting, very exciting, Gar. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's really shifting shifting our understanding, isn't it, of dementia and what we can do.
Yeah, I think we've been kept blind and ignorant for long enough. It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
Let's get real about what we can do for our health.
Yeah.
and how we can take control. And the more information that we have about why we're in this condition, whatever condition it is, I mean, the DSM manual is like this thick. If you scratch your earlobe, if you sneeze, it's a condition that there's a drug for. So smarten up, get wise and
Start
realize
with the
that
easy,
our
the low
health.
hanging cherries.
So what?
Start with the low hanging fruit. We
Yeah.
can make changes immediately.
Yes, we can. Yeah, indeed.
Definitely. Lovely to see you, Gar, as always.
Oh, bless you. Thanks to you.
We'll
Thank you for
see
the
you again on the
opportunity.
23rd of April
You
and
bet.
be celebrating our birthday. And
Fabulous.
we look forward to seeing you then.
Lovely. Okay. Thanks for
Take
everyone
care.
for listening. And thank you, Lisa, for being in touch. It's always a pleasure to see you and to talk and to bring some news that I have to PHA. It's a good
Definitely.
family, and I really appreciate being a part of PHA. Thank you.